Welcome Wolfpack, so here we are down at the lake, beautiful location, and I'm in the middle of wild camping and I've basically run out of water, right? So what better opportunity than test my brand new ultimate water filtration system that I've built using an electric water pump, like a fish pond pump type thing, yeah, with a USB battery bank, sucking the water straight out of the lake, straight through a couple of filters, straight into my drinking container. That's the theory, so let's see if it works in practice. Now, the idea being is in here I have my full water kit. So, for those who haven't seen what I've got going on in here, essentially it's a series of hoses, silicone, food grade hoses. Now the ones that are colour coded red means that this is for the dirty water, and indeed this is the filter that drops into the actual water in the lake. I've put a marble in there so that it drops down under the top surface, which has usually got a load of debris on the top. So I'm going to be dunking that into the lake. Yeah, there's a decent bit of hose there. And then essentially that connects into a water pump, which I have here in this pocket. As you'll see, these are all blue coded because these are the clean water. So it comes into the pump and then out of the pump it will go into, on this I have my Sawyer Mini water filter. The coil of paracord here is actually cub cord, is so that I can spin it around afterwards and backwash it slightly doing that. And then on this side pocket I've put on here, I've got a Platypus carbon filter, as well as I've got one of these sucky things. So I've got that in there as well, just in case I need that, if I want to draw through it directly. And then in here we've got the carbon filter. Yeah, GravityWorks carbon element. So, and then it comes out of that carbon element and essentially goes into the water container. Now, when I tested in lab conditions, that water pump was able to do about 1 litre a minute, roughly, a little bit under 1 litre in 1 minute. That's pulling it straight out of the lake, into the pump, out of the pump, into the Sawyer Mini, out of the Sawyer Mini, into the carbon filter, out of the carbon filter, into the container, right? So the idea being is I go down the lake, I haven't got to mess around, I just dunk it in the water, I can keep watch while it's doing its thing, I shouldn't need to touch anything. But what I've done here, because these water pumps run on 12 volts, I've got on here is a PD trigger, a USB-C power delivery trigger. Now this little circuit in there, this is something I've mocked up myself, right, and soldered it on. But it means that if you have a PD compatible battery bank like this one, now this is about 70 or so watt hours battery bank. Yeah, this is a Anchor, so the good quality one. Now this has got, you see it says there PD on the USB-C port. So if it doesn't say PD, it won't be able to do it. But PD allows the USB-C voltage, which is, USB is normally 5 volts, but the PD will allow it to go up to 9, 12, 15 and even 20 volts. And that's what this little circuit board inside here does. All it does is it sends data to the actual battery bank to tell it that it's capable of doing 12 volts or 20 volts or whatever. And if this receives that signal, it will output that voltage out of here. So it's a new USB-C power system. You can even charge laptops from PD now. So the idea being is I just go USB-C to USB-C into here. Now I've actually overclocked this pump slightly, in as much as this PD trigger, I've configured it to demand 15 volts rather than 12. This is originally a 12 volt pump. But I've reconfigured it by hacking the PD chip on there to tell it to give it 15 volts, so it runs a little bit quicker, which is fine. It's a brushless motor in there, so it's fine. So that's the plan. And then of course I've got things in here as well, like the plunger to backwash the Sawyer Mini. I've got a water meter tester here as well to check the pH values, the total dissolvable solids and so on. So I've got that usually sits in there. And then in this main compartment is where I have my clean canteen, yeah, which is the the 40 ounce version of a clean canteen, and there's a cup in there as well, Tonka cup, which fits perfectly. And then here I've just got a fish mouth spreader. Ooh. Yeah, so that spreads apart, and the idea of that is it goes in when you compress it. Yeah, it will go into this flask, and you can hang it over a fire to boil water, is the idea of that, right? So it's good to have that just sitting there as part of the kit. So that's my water kit. That just goes in there, and in fact this large spoon here as well, that usually sits in there like that, and then that's all sealed up. So I bought this pack as a simple pack that just had this and this, and I've obviously added this extra pocket on and these two pouches as well because of the molly straps. So I like to get the molly strap versions of things. And then in this pocket here I also have things like, you know, some clean wipes and things. I've got pH litmus paper testing, some sterilizing pads, and also some baby wipes, and in the middle there is some water purification tablets as well. So that's all good to go. I've even got stuff like here, this is a special key to get into a disabled toilet to use the services in there, and a few other bits and pieces. I've got a fireman's spanner, so this will undo all of your popular industrial and thingy bob to turn water on and off. So this is my Sigma Pepper Ultimate Water Filtration Kit, which is still in prototype format because of course today I need to test to make sure my theory and all of my engineering so far of what I've done here is actually going to work when I put it all together, get water out of the lake, fill up the bottle, and I'll test it with a water tester to make sure it's okay to drink. We'll be boiling it up in the Kelly Kettle and making a cup of the tea. So here it is, this is the system all set up now, ready to go. So let me just take you through what we've got. So we start off here with the filter. Now this has got a marble in it, that will drop under the surface, right? I'll just hook it over there, it should be fine. It comes around, it basically goes into this DC pump, which is normally 12 volts. I've put a PD, USB-C PD trigger that boosts my pack up to 15 volts to run this even faster. It basically sucks it out. This is red, so it means it's dirty water. It goes through the Sawyer Mini Filter, again blue because these are now clean, through the carbon filter, and then out into my bottle here. So that's the idea. All I've got to do is get it running. So let's do that now, and let's see if my invention works. So here we are then, it's all running. It looks like it's working perfectly. So I've got the filter down there picking up from the lake. We've got the battery bank running the pump. That's pushing through the Sawyer Mini, then through the carbon, and check it out. We've got a constant trickle there, no gravity, no squeezing any bottles, no nothing. So let's get that collected and we should have some nice fresh drinking water, all completely without having to do any squeezing or anything. Beautiful. And look at the beautiful colour of that water coming straight out of the lake without doing anything. Yeah, literally I've got the filter coming out of the lake into a pump here that I've modified with the PD USB power, running at 15 volts from this battery bank, just a normal USB PD battery bank, straight into a Sawyer Mini Filter, out of that into your Platypus carbon filter, and straight out of that into the bottle. And that's 2 litres there, done in about 5 minutes without doing anything. Fresh to drink on the way back to my wild camp. Worked out brilliantly. The Sigma Prepper Ultimate Water Filtration Automated Kit. Let us know what you think in the comments.